speaker fixed.
Oh, okay. Y'all, we
Okay.
back.
So we're back live.
Lord, let the people know we back.
Yeah, let them know we're back. We doing a part two, and I'm gonna go back and edit it. So those of you who are watching, please come back and come
Lord.
back because we were having technical difficulties. So
That is
I don't want to stop the conversation because it's a really important topic. And
yeah.
like I said, this is one of the ones I probably will go back and re-edit so that everything is the two shows is put together.
Oh, that's crazy.
So but it was something on my end that was happening. So now I'm on Bluetooth now on my phone. So that shouldn't happen again. But like you said, it's a devil when you're trying to talk about something important.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't even know where we left off. I know we were talking about all different things. But
We're talking about what you
unfortunately I had some people comment, and now I don't know if I can see um the previous comments because we have some people come on. Um I'm just trying to see if I could at least see what the last comment and stuff was. Um
well.
Probably not because I we did have the lady Lisa. I know she had a comment last, and I don't know if I'll be able to see that. Unfortunately, probably can't go back and read the last few comments that we had. So hopefully they'll come back on the show and be able to finish that discussion because I know we were talking last about suicide. We were asking was it a chemical imbalance or
Right.
depression or other factors. I know that was the last question that we had up, but I know we had a few comments and stuff that was beneath it that I didn't get a chance to share. But like I said, I'll be able to go back and hopefully those who are watching, the ladies that were on, will be able to come back and finish sharing their thoughts because what they were saying, the comments that were coming on, was just as valuable as what we were saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like reading others' comments and questions and thoughts because it helps stimulate my mind, as
Right.
well. So let me see.
Definitely.
I know people are probably coming back on wondering what was going on. But like I said, I was having
We had
technical
some.
problems. So we are back on the Q with Quadrine Marie and Miss Na-Tasha Denson. We are talking about suicide prevention and awareness. We had technical difficulties the first almost hour of the show. We
It was
wanted to come back
42
and finish
we was in 42 minutes. I
42
memorized.
minutes. So we want to continue this discussion because we feel like it's really that important. If we have to put two shows together, um, I wanted to continue the conversation. So I think we said quite a bit as far as this question, even though I know everything is tied in together. But the next question was: are there any signs of suicide that are not traditionally talked about? I know you talked a little bit about that, but are there other signs that we should be made aware of to look out for?
So, um, typically, right, we ask the person how they're doing, they say they're fine, right? We don't look at the person
Right.
that's, comedian and always laughing and always making others
Mhm.
laugh. That's a sign, right? Because it's no telling what
Right.
they're going through internally. Um, we just need to pay close attention to people. So one of the signs is a person talking about dying, right? Or giving away prized possessions, stockpiling on pills, acquiring a gun, you know, just getting their affairs in order. It's just we just gotta
Right.
pay really, really close attention to people. Especially someone if they just lost a job, they just had a breakup, relationships, friendships, they got abandoned, rejected by their family. It's a lot of
It's
stuff.
a lot. Yeah.
It's a lot, right? And we just honestly, we just have to be able to listen with our eyes. I hope that made sense.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Pay attention, right? Because you'll always see some sort of sign.
Right.
right? But it all comes down to, are you willing to put in the work to help save the life? Because it's not a quick 5-minute fix.
Mm.
And I tell my students that when they come take my course, because it's $25, I let them know. I sit there. I
Right.
I have I sit there for 2 hours just in case you got any questions after, right? It's not a
Right.
quick, oh, okay. All right, Q, I finished talking to you. I gotta get to work now, girl. Let me go. No,
Right. It's not.
it's not a quick fix. Because who's to say that the person that you're talking to when you leave, they're not gonna still go through with their attempts?
Right. That's
You
true.
know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Mhm.
we know people are naturally loners, but pay attention to that person, you know, that doesn't call you for a few days and you're used to talking to them every day,
Mm.
right? Or that person who just lost a loved one.
Right.
Because for every person that dies by suicide,
Mm.
there are 25 people who also attempt as well. That's connected to it.
Mm. That's something.
That is.
Yeah.
That is definitely something. So we just got to pay attention. And I also teach people after the class, okay, well, if you know someone that deals with depression, right? Let's talk about how to hack into their serotonin, right? That's your
Mhm.
mood stabilizer. We talk about the
Right.
food you eat, the exercise, the things that you need to do. But you
Yeah.
also got to let somebody know, listen, don't feel as though that you are weak for feeling that you don't want to live anymore. It's hard out here.
It's hard.
It's real hard. And I
Yeah.
was gifted with the ability to be able to help people with perspective shifts. I don't know nobody that can do that. I'm really will sit there. Okay, what's going on? You lost your job. Maybe God got a better one.
Yeah.
Well, think about stuff like that,
Right. Mhm.
right? Or maybe that job was under investigation, or maybe that company about to get shut down, right? Just
Mhm.
different little things to just think about that people don't see. Again, giving them that hope,
That's
because
true.
when you plant that seed of hope, you help save a life. But there are a lot, there are a lot of signs that, whether they're talked about or not, that we just ignore in people. They
Yeah.
think,
I believe that too.
yeah, we think, okay, well, so and so got a 6-figure job, they got a nice house, they got a nice car, they got a family that loves them.
Yeah.
There's no way that
Mhm.
they're depressed when the whole time they are going through the motions of what happened to them as a child.
Right. Yeah. Still are 20, 25 years later.
Right,
Right. They're
right.
still a child in certain ways because of like what Shanair said earlier. The trauma is a top killer.
And I'm glad you said that, because psychology states that you're stuck at the age that your trauma first began.
Yeah. That's. I believe it. Now, when I think about not just myself but others, I believe that you could be an adult, have a family, house, career, and still be stuck
Mentally.
at 5 years old.
Yep, yep. And it all,
You know, I'm saying in
psychology
certain
also states
ways
that,
you're still five in certain areas.
yeah, mentally and emotionally, right. Because it
Right,
also tells
emotionally.
you,
Yeah.
psychology also teaches you that you become the person you wish you had as a kid. And that's deep.
Mm.
I'm always
That's
trying to
the
take care of
yeah.
somebody. Always trying to take care of somebody. Oh, you don't have this, let me help you. Oh my God, you don't have that, let me help. It's like I turn into like mama bear or something for
Yeah.
folks. Like, oh,
Right.
you don't have that. Let me help you. No, I
Right.
had to stop with that. I had to stop, because you attract people that will use the life out of you. They'll suck you dry
Mm.
and then leave you hanging, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
we gotta work on ourselves, yes, but we gotta also, for those people who are always the strong friend, check on your strong friend. I posted a status when what's his name? The guy from Ellen, Twitch. When Twitch died.
Right.
And
That was sad.
I said, check on your strong friend, your I'm fine friend, your friend who just lost a job, your friend that don't have nobody, your
Right.
comedian friend, and
Yeah.
also your loner friend.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely check on, because the strong friend
Mm-hmm.
always helping everybody else. Who are they running to?
Oh, I hear that. I hear that often from a few friends and family. Always the strong one. And
Always.
people just assume that means that you're okay because you're the one they go to all the time. And
No.
I told my boyfriend's sister mentioned this, and I agreed with her. We tired of being strong. being strong black women. I said, I'm not saying I'm ready to be weak, but I'm tired of having to be strong all the time. I don't have to be all the time.
Everybody,
Who
I need to
said
get
that I have to be strong all the time? Sometimes the strong needs help too.
girl. I listen.
Probably need it more than anybody because they feel like they had to be this their whole life.
Let me tell you something. I am in the process. I just sat back and got comfortable with my chair because let me tell you something. I'm in the
Yeah, I
process.
see that.
I'm looking for a therapist now because I'm taking on
Yeah,
the folks at work, the clients,
right.
family, friends, people I don't even know on the street. Like I'm just taking on everybody's stuff, and you know what's happening? It's just weighing me down, weighing me down,
Yeah, weigh you down.
weighing me down. And I'm at the point where, uh, uh, I can't do it. I can't. Sometimes I just got to turn the phone off. Apple got that do not
Yeah.
disturb feature. I love it. I will do not disturb the
I do
world.
not. I used that one time, and I'm like, oh, maybe I need to do that again because that do not disturb. It wasn't just for phone calls. It was just the social media notifications and email. Everything just stopped. And
Yep.
I said, well, maybe this feature really is something that's useful. It's not being mean and all that. Sometimes, and we're going to talk about this later as far as self care, but you really do need to straight up be like, do not disturb me.
Right. Leave me alone
Leave me alone.
at this
Yeah.
point because as of now, I have a lot on my plate now. Like I,
Right.
and this is all glory due to God. I've been getting custom
Mhm.
orders of 25 or more t-shirts, 50
Mm.
champagne glasses, and then I got the service side of the business and I'm helping people here. Then I got my own personal life and I got people upset because, oh, since you got in your relationship, you don't know how to call nobody. Like
Oh yeah, I've heard that.
11 inches and 185 pounds. I only got 2 arms, 2 feet, 2 eyes, and
Yeah,
2 ears.
that's it. Mhm.
I'm sorry, that I'm not making time for you
Right.
once I my relationship.
No, I
I'm
don't need to
sorry.
be sorry.
You know, my bad. But I'm over here trying to do it. And he told me the same thing. Like, yo, you gotta
Yeah.
you taking on everybody else stuff. You need to go talk to somebody for you because you bugging.
For you. Right. Yeah.
Because it becomes a lot. So it's signs. We just gotta
Because
we gotta
you're tired. You got to be able. And I told Tyrone this. I said you got to be able, especially particularly when we talk about as far as black women, be able to ask for help and tell others because that whole mentality being strong, people don't think you need help because we don't reach out either, and then they're not reaching out to us because they assume we're all right. So when we don't speak up and say, no, I can't handle all this, I am feeling like I'm getting weighed down. People just be throwing more and more stuff on you, thinking you can handle it and that you're okay. So sometimes we have to speak up for ourselves too.
Yep. Yep. And
Tell
I'm
people,
on
no, I'm not okay.
right.
And,
Right.
and I guess that's part of the suicide prevention too, to actually say that you're not okay and just hope that somebody is actually, like you said, listening to what you're
But
saying.
can I tell you something about that, Q?
Mhm.
That's hard for people. When you're in
It's
that
hard.
moment,
Yeah.
when you're in that moment and you are at that point, the very tip of the iceberg, where you feel like that you want to take your life, it's
Right.
hard to pick up the phone and say, "Hey, I need you." It's hard to do this.
Right.
I'm feeling
Mhm.
suicidal. It's hard. It's hard because at that very moment, that when that
Right.
feeling is very strong on you,
Mhm.
you don't. I've had many a days, and I've been in this apartment for 3 years. Not many a days. I say about 3 times, and I had to sit there and cry and not call a soul, hoping my
Mhm.
phone would ring while I was sitting there crying, and somebody would go, "Are you okay?" And I can go, "Mm." The phone never rang.
Mm.
Not one time.
Wow. Not one time.
Not one time.
Yeah. Mm. I guess like people just don't know, and I don't want to say they don't care, but I feel like they don't know, and they're actually stuck in their own mess.
But this is my thing, right? If we have, say, we have a meeting every Thursday, and I'm always at this
Right.
meeting every Thursday, 12
Right.
o'clock sharp. I'm there, and I don't show up to that meeting. My
Right.
phone should be ringing. Are
It
you
should. I get it.
here?
It should be.
You wasn't here. I'm
Right, because that's your
concerned. Do
routine.
you need
Right.
me to call? It doesn't happen. And it bugs me out. And I'm
Yeah.
like, so can't nobody pick up on that?
Right. No. Tyrone said,
It's a lot.
shout out, this is my babe Ty. He said you have to pour into yourself first and others get the overflow. Yeah,
Right.
that's
But
that's
you know, with
true.
us big
Yes.
hearted people,
Yeah.
Mr. Smith, with us big hearted people, with our hearts are outside our body, sometimes we don't even
Mhm.
know how to, I'm going to use this little, we don't know how to fill us
Mhm.
up.
Mm.
We don't know how to do that. We fill us up a little bit,
Yeah.
we'll get right here. I'm going to get
Yeah.
into the, right? And then we pouring
Right.
out.
Pouring
Then we'll
out.
get right here,
Yeah. You're right.
pouring out, right? Next thing you know, we all the way down here and we pouring out. Because we don't want
Pouring
nobody
out.
to feel how we feel.
Well, yeah,
We
that's
don't want
that.
nobody.
Yeah, I believe that too. You don't want people to feel that, so you don't say anything.
Right. Yep.
And that goes
Flock
to
to
my
the
point of actually speaking. First of all, knowing what it is that you're feeling first, because you really can't tell others how you're feeling until you realize what it is you're feeling too, and accept your feelings. You know, I see people turn
yeah.
to drugs and alcohol because they're trying to avoid their feelings, and that makes it worse because now you walking around
Coping.
numb. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
way
gonna
of
say I'm
coping.
fine. Yeah, are you fine? Really? Like the question is, are you really fine? Or are you just, like you said, coping, or just covering up what's going on the inside, so that so people don't see
Yep.
that you're really not
Yep.
okay. Because it is a thing where people don't want people
Uh-huh.
to know
Yep. And that's why I
that they're
got the
not
grief
good,
certificate.
and it's okay to
Yep.
say that because
Yep. That's
I
why I
think
got the grief
everybody
certification.
has issues, something going on with them. I don't care who the person is. I feel like everybody
Of
has something
course.
that they're dealing with. So
Of
don't
course.
walk around as walking around like you're by yourself, because as soon as you talk to somebody like we did tonight talking about losing our moms, other people came on commenting, and I'm sure they can relate to that, to what we were saying.
Yep.
It's just that we're the ones in this moment talking about it and speaking up, using our voice. But what you and I just said is millions
Yep.
of others that understand that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's
And
like you're
see,
really
the thing is
never
too is that
alone.
right. So the thing is that, and I learned this when I worked at Essex County Correctional for 10 months as a peer recovery
Hmm.
specialist, helping people with the drugs and the alcohol. There are
Right.
over, this is why, and this is what I was saying earlier, this is why I have grief certification. There are over 40 different types of grief.
Mm.
40.
Mm.
Grief is
Wow.
not just losing a loved one.
Mm.
It could be losing a job.
Yeah.
And I wish Shanair was up here because I love how she go, because she works, she does grief as well. She always say you
Okay.
could be losing yourself. It could be lost to
Janessa,
yourself,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It could be moving out of a neighborhood, your car, friendship. We grieve friendships, right? It could be the fact that you
That's
lost weight or
true.
gained weight. You could be grieving your childhood. You could be 50 years old grieving your childhood.
Your child. Right.
Like it's over 40 different types of grief. So everything that I do all works hand in hand.
Mm.
I just wish they would teach coping skills in school because maybe, we wouldn't have a drug epidemic right now.
Right. I agree with you.
Yeah.
There really needs. There's a lot of stuff I feel like is missing in schools, but I think
Girl,
financial education is big too, but and bullying and all that, but
oh,
that
I'm gonna text you about.
definitely that.
I'm working on something. Don't worry. I'm with the
Okay, no,
CLB certificate.
I believe you are working on. You're working on a few things, so I believe it.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you about that. I actually, and I can announce it.
Mhm.
I actually signed up to be a mentor with an organization in the city of East Orange for the kids, and I gave them
Okay,
all of it.
good. Yes.
They said, "What ideas you got, girl?"
Yeah.
I ran it down. I said, "Life
Yeah.
skills, gardening,
Right.
coping skills, uh,
Yes.
uh, entrepreneurship, how to balance a checkbook, credit and debit, how to use the gun. Girl, I gave him. I know that man was looking at that thing like he's serious.
You gave them the business.
Gave it to him with no
Yes.
problem. Because if I'm going to be part of this mentorship program, we're going to teach these kids some
You're gonna teach them. That's right.
some
And
valuable.
adults too.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Listen.
Everybody need help.
Okay.
So we're gonna go. We're gonna go on to the next question. This ties into what you were just um we were just discussing actually. As far as suicide prevention, how do we prevent suicide if we don't know if someone is planning to suicide? So I
It's
guess
always
it goes hand in hand with the other question.
it's always signs. Just a simple
Yeah.
phone call or a simple text. Hey Q, how you doing today? I know you grieving and I know this is going on.
Right.
If you know somebody to talk to, let me know. If you
Mhm.
want to have a lunch date one day, or if you need me soon, we can meet up in one of the parks, blah blah blah.
Right.
Right? Simple conversation.
Mhm.
Simple conversation. Because how many
Yeah.
times have you walked up to people who was grieving or going through something and they just started talking and then some of them break down and cry? Why they talking
Just
to you?
break down. Yeah. I've been through that recently. Yeah. With others.
Right? So
Yeah.
that's how you prevent it. So it's a three-part thing. It's you
Mhm.
question, I said thing, y'all, excuse me, but it's a three-part process. The way that I was trained with my certification is question, persuade, refer, QPR. You question
Mhm.
them, you know, do you have a plan? Is this what you want to do? This, that, and the third, but it's a certain way you ask it. You gotta come to class because I can't do all that tonight. But then you persuade them, right? So you tell people how much you love them, and how much life will get better for them, and how much they mean to you. That helps, right? And then you refer them to get help. That's why I said it's not a
Right.
5 minute
Right.
session. You gotta literally either call
Yeah.
crisis or
I
get that
agree.
person to some psychiatric help.
Right.
Because sometimes talking just doesn't do it, right? Especially if they deal with depression, if they were already diagnosed with depression, right? Maybe they didn't take their medication, or what triggered their depression, what triggered them wanting to do this, right? If you
Right.
already deal with
Mhm.
depression and you go to work and they terminate you, what you think gonna happen,
Mm.
right? So
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell y'all, it's a lot of information within that
Mhm.
class that I can't do right here in the next 20 minutes. It's a lot.
It's a
It's
lot.
literally,
Right. And we're
it's a
gonna
lot.
talk about that later. How people can reach out to you so that they can get the thorough, in-depth knowledge that they need.
Definitely. But
Yeah.
most of the time, 60 to 90% people say something. It's a myth that people
Yeah.
don't tell you. You know how
Mm.
they've been saying,
Right.
they'll tell you, oh, people that's gonna commit suicide don't tell anybody, they just do it. That's a lie. Because
Yeah.
the
I don't
reason why
believe
they
that.
tell somebody, because they want you to stop them. They
Mm.
want people.
Yeah.
But again, they tell the wrong people because most people feel like,
Mm.
oh, if they was gonna do it, they wouldn't have told nobody. That's a bold faced lie. Oh, they just
No,
saying that
I
for
don't believe that.
no, they not
Yeah.
just saying that for attention, and you
Why
supposed
would
to say
someone just tell you that? That's not something to just say.
right.
I'm just saying though, like people joke about a lot of stuff, but I don't think no one will really joke around. And
Right.
even if they aren't really trying to suicide, it's still something to take serious. The
Right.
fact that the fact that someone even has that in their mouth to even come out to say that they want to kill themselves, even if it's just something just as a threat or whatever to make you feel some type of way, I would still take it serious because you really
Right.
don't know where that's coming from. Are they really serious about it or not? You don't know that.
Right, that part. So if
You
I
can't brush
called
it
you,
off. Or they just saying that.
right. So if I called you tomorrow
Yeah.
and said, Q, I'm giving you my laptop, my ring light, I'm giving you my printer, my label
Right.
printer, all of my equipment in here to make t-shirts, I won't be needing this no more.
No, I see something wrong.
My point.
Really wrong. Yeah.
Right.
Because I'm
My
like, well,
business stuff,
why are you giving your business stuff to me? I would actually question that.
exactly. And
What's
that's
going? I would actually ask you more questions like, well, what's going on? Are you selling your business? You like what's going on?
right. But because I'm giving you stuff, you would ask me, are you planning on taking your life? Because you may not feel comfortable with saying, are you planning on committing suicide?
Right. I don't know. Well, see, that's the thing. How do you find out what's really going on with somebody
You
without
ask me
making
the
them feel
question directly.
uncomfortable?
You ask them that question directly. And if you feel uncomfortable, get
Yeah.
somebody else to ask. But you
Yeah.
definitely need to ask.
Yeah.
You definitely need to
Need
ask.
to ask. Yeah.
Because if you don't and somebody actually go do it, you're gonna be like, yo, they was just right here in my face.
Yeah. That you had the opportunity
Yeah,
to do something about it. And that goes
exactly.
to my next question. What advice would you give someone wanting to help others? How do we help bring awareness? I
So
think they go hand in hand, together.
right. So here's the thing. 988 is the crisis number.
Okay.
It's a three
Eh,
letter number. It's no longer that long, 188 or 1-800 or whatever number that is.
right. Okay.
988 is the crisis number. But
Okay.
um you want to just be there for people.
Yeah.
Honestly, you can literally just be there for people. Everybody knows somebody that's going either through depression or having suicidal thoughts or mentioned it or been
Mhm.
through it before, right? So another sign
Right. We have.
is, I don't know if y'all can see my arm, but I got my scars right here,
Yeah, I
right?
can see.
I'm never doing it again, so don't nobody get alarmed. I promise y'all, I got too much to live for. But if
Yes.
you see a frequent cutter, and I'm talking frequent, like all you see is scars on the arm, that's
Mm.
that's a sign, right? That's a sign. But again, we're normal
Yeah.
people, so we're not trained clinicians. We're not just looking at people's arms.
Right. We're
We're
not.
there to see, right? If they're cutters,
Yeah,
people
I
don't
definitely know some cutters. I had my own experience with that maybe 18, 19, 20 years, well, about 20 years ago, where I almost went into that myself. And I just did it one time, and God rest in peace. And my friend Donna, um, she went and told somebody that she saw me doing that.
Yep.
And when she went and told me, the person said I was actually in some, I don't want to get into details, but I was going through my own thing at that time where I wasn't living at home. I was in a group setting with other girls. And I was 19 years old. So she went and told, and the people in charge, one of the ladies in charge came and asked me to hand over what it was I was trying to use
Mm-hmm.
to try to cut myself. Now, I really wasn't going through like really cutting myself like that, but
Right.
what it is, I had picked it up from somebody else. I had saw them cutting themselves.
And that's another
So I
thing.
really didn't even understand what I was doing. I just happened to see somebody else who was a cutter and seeing her cut her arms and her legs. And I was really sensitive about my skin and all that. But I was like, oh, in that moment, I picked up on a really bad, what could have turned into a bad habit of
Yep.
looking at with somebody else and how she was dealing with her pain. And I took my little butterfly clip because they was popular at that time, and I went to try to start cut my arm. And my friend, and that's what you call a friend, actually went and told on me
Yep. Yep.
because I could have looked at her like, "Why you went and told them this?" No, she was really trying to save my life at that moment.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Yeah.
necessarily
Yeah.
a
So
addiction or anything at that point, but her doing that actually stopped me that I never went back the rest of my life to do that. So
right.
it goes to what you were
Right.
saying.
So
Somebody
once
needs to go and
again,
speak up. Tell somebody, we were young at the time, tell somebody of authority that my friend is about to cut herself or she looks like she's about to go do something. I don't know what to do myself. I don't know how to confront her, whatever, and tell somebody that can help. And it made a difference.
right. So you always too want to ask the
Yeah.
person, will you go with me to get help? Will you come with me? Come with me. Please, I want you to get help. I really love you and I really want you to get help. Please, can
Yeah.
you come with me to get help? Because I'm concerned. Right? Again, we don't want to take the time to help people.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. Because again, you
That's a
could be
problem.
saving a life, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's a problem because people don't want to help people. They too scared to help them, or they too
Too
shameful, they too
scared,
prideful.
right? Too shame.
Or,
Yeah.
on top of all of that, they just maybe they feel like the person won't listen when that's not the truth. That's a
Won't,
myth.
right. That's not true.
Asking
Right.
someone,
Mhm.
do they want to commit suicide, is not going to put the thought in their head and it's not going to make them want to do it more. You're going to open up the gates for them to have a conversation.
And that's more important
Opening up,
than feeling shame. Yeah.
right, right. And getting them the help that they need.
Right.
Bringing
Yeah.
awareness is basically, the website. the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention has a ton of
Mhm.
resources, right? Has a ton of resources. Looking up the warning signs, right? Looking up,
Yeah.
just
Mhm.
doing the research on what to do or what to look for in people.
Yes.
But
Mhm.
I'm gonna tell you another reason why you would never see me put another knife to my wrist again. I could have
Mhm.
nerve damage, right?
Mm.
A lot of people who attempt, harm themselves permanently.
Yeah.
San Francisco
Permanently.
at the
Right. That's true.
bridge, they put up a they put a blocker up. You try to jump off
Mm.
that bridge, you're gonna be damaged. Bad.
Yeah.
I said, why the United States isn't taking on that process,
Yeah.
right? We
Right.
gotta talk to people.
We
Gotta
gotta
talk to
talk.
people.
We gotta
And
talk.
mm-hmm,
Yeah.
gotta talk. But the
We
awareness
have
that
a
all of this,
comment. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I was just reading. We had a
oh no, you're
comment.
fine.
Chanelaria. She said, "My daughter is a cutter, so I'm very cautious."
Ooh, we gotta find out what's
Um,
going on with her
what's
emotionally.
going on? Yeah.
Gotta find out what's going on with her emotionally.
Because it is really stemming. I don't even want to say just pain, but there's something going on. Either anxiety, or depression that you feel like you actually have to feel that pain.
They want to end the emotional pain and they feel hopeless. It's a
So
two
hopeless. Yeah.
hopeless and they want to end the emotional pain. But something else that
Yeah.
gets on my nerves, and I love all y'all parents, I really do. But teach your kids about bullying.
Yeah.
It's not cool.
On both sides, not just being the one bullied,
Right.
but the bullier
Right. Right.
as
That's what
well.
I'm talking about.
Both sides.
That's what I'm
She said,
talking about.
yes, we have. She said we have a lot of trauma that's happened the past 2 years, and that's what we were talking about earlier, the effects of trauma, and it
Please add
plays
me.
out physically through cutting. I would say.
Yeah. Please add me on Facebook so we could talk.
Yeah,
Please, pretty please with sugar on
because
top.
that's a real situation.
Definitely. And
I know you can speak on it more than I can.
listen, when you're tired, and I mean, I was
Yeah.
20, no, 30, 29 going
Mhm.
into 30. I was done. Like, I was like, I'm tired.
Yeah.
Like, can't nobody tell me nothing at the end of
Mhm.
the day. How is this life going to get better? I didn't got married.
Right.
I've been married for 11 years. Now I'm heading into divorce. I never had any
Yeah.
kids. I done lost my mama. I'm tired of
Right.
financially struggling. I done been through.
Yeah.
I was like, I got to get out of here. I got
Mhm.
in my mind, the only way was that was it. I was like, I got to get out of here. I can't do this no more. I'm done. I'm done. Can't do it anymore. But I'm glad that God didn't
Mhm.
allow any of the cuts to succeed because look at me,
Right.
7 years,
Me, I'm as well that he didn't allow that for you,
like
because
7 years later,
you needed to be here to talk about this.
right? I'm helping people. I'm advocating.
Right.
Like I'm out here doing my good work out here. Like when
Yeah,
I
you are. You really are.
this thing is a passion for me. Listen, any and every podcast I can get on, whoever I got to talk to, radio shows, we got to get out here because at the end of the day, listen, over 45,000 people, that's one person every
That's a lot.
11 minutes. One person every
That's really something. We don't comprehend that. It's a lot. That's a lot of people. One person is too much, but
one
that's a lot.
every 11 minutes though. Can you
While
imagine?
we sitting here all this time, we came back our part two for 33 minutes now. So that's saying three people in that time, just by us being on the broadcast.
Can you imagine every time your clock ticked, you got a notification? Somebody else. Somebody else. Somebody else.
Maybe people need start notifications. To really be honest, to have notifications to wake them the hell up. That this life is precious.
And it's so crazy to me because I put up polls on Instagram and I'll put up a poll and I'll say, okay, how many people know the signs and the warning signs and what to do? Nobody respond. Okay,
Yeah.
how many people want to know? How many people want the information? $25 a person. Nobody responds. And I'm like,
Right.
do we want to be that oblivious?
Yeah, it sounds like it is. Like people are.
Like, why we got to be that oblivious to this?
And I think we all know somebody that either suicide or prevented or thinking about suicide.
Let me tell you something.
If not yourself.
My mother was a cutter. My mother was a cutter, and she had a Bible. And
Mm.
all throughout her Bible, she would write, "God help me, please stop the pain." And at the time, I was younger. I
Mm.
was like 14. I didn't understand it. I didn't understand why my mother
Right.
tried to jump off the building. I didn't understand why my mother was cutting herself. I didn't understand it as a young child. But when I started going through stuff, and I was like, oh.
Mm.
So when I do the walk in October, I'm not just walking for me. I'm
Right,
walking
you're
for
not.
my mother, who had many attempts because she was tired and she wanted to get out of here.
Right.
That stuff, people hurt. Like they
Hurt. Right.
don't like, like it's crazy. It's just it's a lot. It's a lot. And I just wish we had more therapists and more licensed professionals that are actually
Yeah.
there and listen.
Listening.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
Charles has that number. I don't know if you see his question, but he said,
yeah,
has
I
that
do.
number increased since the pandemic? Was it lower before?
It hasn't been low in a long, 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 long time.
Mhm.
Long time. And it's just
Yeah.
sadly it's increasing. It's
Mhm.
literally
I
increasing.
believe it.
So it's sad because like I said, people are they're buying guns and they offer themselves. They
Right, they are.
that 6-year-old girl that took her life with a belt.
Mm.
That baby wrapped a belt around her neck.
And to even so, well, honestly, with these young kids, um, oh shoot, I'm sorry, the young kids like under 12 years old. So the fact that they even can know to do that,
You
you
know
know what
what's
I'm saying? To actually know, like, let me go get a belt and hang myself. It's really sad.
It is. But can I tell you something? We're living
Mhm.
in such a different time. Just to jump back to addiction, they giving
Right.
Narcan to kids as young as 6.
Yeah.
Narcan. Literally. No, like
Mm.
Narcan. To bring they friends back at 6?
Right. At 6.
How? Why? Like
I don't understand.
the times are like
It actually hurts me when I hear stories. 6 years old, 7 years old. You're supposed to be outside, playing. You know what I'm saying? Out being
Barbie
a
or
kid,
something.
playing rough and playing either with your dolls or your trucks or Nintendo. And I know technology is different than when we were, growing up. We had Nintendo and video games and all that stuff.
Yep.
But as a kid, these kids, it's like they're not kids. It's
They
just like
right. And they don't have
it's almost like adults in a little body. What
yeah,
they're dealing with, the
because they
depression
can
and
do
bullying and
everything.
anxiety.
Right.
They supposed to be feeling that. Well, that's we feel, as adults, and
Right.
it's a lot for us to handle.
Right.
So
Their
why
class
is a 6-year-old, 7-year-old dealing with these emotions?
you know what? Because here's the thing. Your classmate picking on you because you ain't got the latest sneakers and calling
Right.
you names and then go, you know what, go kill yourself. You know what they do? They get on the phone.
That's the worst thing I've heard. Like, go kill yourself.
They go kill yourself. And now they look
Yeah.
up, how do I kill myself?
How do I kill myself? Because they don't have the mind yet, the maturity to distinguish between that.
And they
First of
don't
all, no, a
understand.
child shouldn't be telling another kid that anyway,
But
or
they do.
adult.
And that's why I said them parents need to get it together.
Yeah,
They're the first ones
well, they
yelling.
have issues themselves. That's the problem.
Yeah, but they the first ones
Um,
yelling, it ain't my kid. It ain't my Johnny. Yo,
right.
Johnny
They do.
just beat that kid up and took his lunch money and took his snacks.
Right. I don't even know what their child is doing at school. Taro said, he says, can therapy be a trigger for suicide?
Therapy can actually be a release. Therapy can be a
Yeah.
release and a relief because again, you're talking and you're letting out how you feel, right? You're talking to somebody and
Right.
and I will say this, if you're uncomfortable with your therapist, get another one.
Get another one. And I've told people that myself. And I've heard friends say that. They was working with somebody and they had to go to somebody else. And I have a friend who's a therapist now, and he's had clients that came to him and they weren't necessarily a good fit, and he encouraged them to go to someone else. And there are different
Right.
types of therapy, not just, talk or individual therapy. You have group therapy as well. Sometimes you need
Yeah.
one, or sometimes you need both. So
Right.
it's just finding, like you said, the right therapist, or the right type of therapy, and the right therapy setting for yourself.
Right. If your therapist isn't helping and you feel like the therapist is making the situation worse,
Yeah,
get another one. And don't
you
be
really
afraid
got. Yeah,
to
don't be afraid to have
let
to
them know.
change. Yeah,
Right.
let
Let
them
them
know.
know this ain't working.
Right, it's
But
not working.
it shouldn't be a trigger, right? It's
Right.
not a trigger. It should be a release and a relief. You should feel better when you come from therapy. And crying. Let me just explain something to the
Yeah.
men. Y'all were taught
Mhm.
not to cry. Can we
Mhm.
please debunk that? I'm gonna need y'all to cry because
Yeah.
crying releases endorphins. You feel a lot better. Somebody
You
hurt you,
sure
something
do.
hurt you, you stressed
Yeah.
out from the weight of the world. Go cry.
Mhm.
Trust me, you'll feel a lot better. Let's debunk that myth. Stop telling these babies when they grow up, these boys, crying is for weak people. No, crying is not for the weak.
No,
Cry.
it sure ain't. It's really the strong
Right. Cry.
who cry.
Please.
I'm a believer. I said if I'm ever blessed to have a son, I'm not going to make him feel like he can't cry.
Right. Or
I
express
mean,
an
girl
emotion.
or boy, why is it settle for a girl, to be able to cry and show her emotions, but a boy can't, as though they, like they robots or something. And
Right.
this is another topic, but why men and women have conflicts now, because men are raised
Listen.
one way and girls are raised another, and people don't realize that these young children are eventually going to grow up to be adults
Exactly.
and relationships. So it's like teach them young that it's okay to not only show your emotions, but it's okay for
That's
a
a whole
man.
nother podcast.
That's a whole other topic. But let that man cry. Not even to let that man cry. Let
Right.
that boy cry. Let him
Yep.
cry and not look
Yep.
look at him and call him a sissy and all these different names, because that boy eventually is going to grow into a man and be somebody's husband one day. And you don't
Exactly.
want your daughter walking around saying my man can't show emotions and all this stuff like that, and then it's a problem now because he
Let me
doesn't
tell
know
you
how
something.
to show his emotions in the right way. He expresses it, but not the proper way.
And let me tell you something. I tell people all the time. So because I do groups with the job that I work
Mm-hmm.
with. Like I have 7 centers. So I'm every week I'm doing a group with every center. So you can imagine how exhausted I'll be by the time I get home.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
And I tried to do scream therapy with one of my groups and they wouldn't
Mhm.
scream. I said,
Mm.
now, do y'all understand scream therapy can cost up to 200 per hour? They take you into a field.
Mm.
I learned that from my pastor.
Yeah.
They take you into
Right.
a field and you scream to the top of your lungs for $20. And I was trying to get y'all to do it for free.
It's hard because people they're embarrassed, they feel shame, all these emotions, and it's not something that you do on a daily basis.
Listen,
So I can see how that could be difficult because I'm sure they probably all looked around at each other, seeing who's gonna be first, and feel like they're looking crazy and all
and
that, instead of
15
just
people in the
doing
room,
it. Just
but
do it.
nobody screamed. And I was like,
Yeah.
y'all don't want no help.
They don't want no help. But I mean, I get it because that's hard. That's really like releasing whatever is in you.
Yep.
And some people probably relate that to crying. Where if
Yeah,
they start crying, they're not going to stop crying. Eventually, you will stop.
you will. You're gonna cry yourself to sleep
You're
probably,
going to
but
cry yourself, right?
you're gonna
You're
be
going to stop.
yeah, you're gonna be hacked into that happy hormone. You're gonna be in the release them endorphins real quick.
Released it already, and I would think that screaming is similar.
Listen. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It really is.
It is, and they have all different activities. My boyfriend and I went axe throwing before last year, and that's another form of releasing too. You know, breaking stuff and things, along with, like you said, screaming. So sometimes you have to let some of this out. I'm not saying go out and be cutting, stabbing people up or nothing,
No.
but go somewhere where you can do it, and in a legal and safe setting to release what's going on inside you.
Yeah. Come up with your own coping skills.
Hey, cuz, what's up? My cousin Tiana's on here. Always, support and stuff.
Hey,
I did
cousin.
have another question related to therapy. Does therapy lower the chances of someone committing suicide, and if so, how so? I
Yeah,
don't know if you
because
have any thoughts on that.
once again, you're releasing, you're talking to someone. As long as you could talk to your
Right.
therapist and you can
Yeah.
let out how you feeling, and they can help you. As far as like when I talk to people, I like to help them come up with
Mhm.
coping skills, and like I said, help them see a different perspective when it comes to what they're going through at that moment,
Right.
right? And I want people know
Mhm.
everything in life is temporary except death,
Mm.
right?
Yeah, that's
You
something
take
to think
your life,
about.
you take your life, you
That's
you
it. Right. Mm.
there's no chance of anything ever getting better.
No, it's not.
And see, I'm nosy. I like to know what's next. I want to know where I'm gonna be in the next 10 years. Now I'm nosy. Now I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, God, this 7 years later, this is dope. All right, what's
This
next?
is so right. Yeah.
You know? So yes, it does. And again, when you plant that seed of hope, letting people know, hey, don't you wanna, especially if you're talking to a kid, guess what? You got
Yeah.
to graduate high school. Don't you want to go to prom? Don't you want to see what type of adult life you're
Don't you
gonna
want
have?
to see that? But I learned that with teenagers that are going through depression or having suicidal thoughts, they can't see past that. They
Right.
can't see past, and I know because I went through teasing and all that, and I thank God that I was able to to make it past that because there are kids right now that's in the grade today that they could not see past what they were dealing with in middle school or high school. They
Right.
could not see prom or they could not see college and family and business and they could not see past what was going on in front of them. So it's like being able to tell these kids, this is going to pass. This is temporary. Death is not, like you said. All these people in your life, you may not see these people again after high school the rest of your life,
Right.
but you will have a life.
Exactly. And life gets better. That's my
It gets
favorite saying
better.
now. Life gets better. That's what I tell everybody. Life
It gets
gets
better.
better. If this is temporary, trust me, it's gonna be a better life after
Yeah.
this. You
After
never
this.
know what's gonna happen,
Ooh, child.
right? Use this
Right.
as fuel to get what you want out of life,
Yeah.
right?
You
Some
really
people,
do.
right, they don't have, and again, this is a whole nother topic. They don't
Yeah.
have one or the other or both parents, right? Because these
Right.
young boys are not taught, okay, this is what happens if you get a girl pregnant at 14,
Right. They're
15,
not.
16,
Right.
17,
What
18.
happens? Yeah.
Nobody tells them, oh, so let me show you what child support look like. So if you making
Right.
this,
Right.
blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. I know
Yeah.
somebody who make 90K a year, he bring home $800 a month.
Mm. Oh
Child
God.
support. Right.
Yeah, that's serious. The
Exactly.
repercussions. Yeah. Well, consequences of your actions.
Right.
Because
What
they're life changing. Those that's life
exactly.
changing there. Yeah.
Right. Having patience.
Yeah.
Go to school, get your career, get
Right.
your credit straight. Then
Yes.
worry about locking her down.
Having children and all this.
Right?
Yeah.
Because right
Yeah.
now, you in that stage where your hormones is going crazy because you're a teenager
Right.
and you don't
Yeah.
understand what's going to happen. And now you
Hmm.
go through what you go through, and now it's no way out.
There's
No,
no way because the child is here. Yeah.
it is, these are things they can
Yeah.
teach your kids. I did this in a group. I said these are things to teach your kids. You know what I'm trying to say? How
And
to
not
say
be afraid to talk to them about it because
right,
some parents, like you were saying earlier, they don't want to say something because they think they're going to put that idea in their kid's head. The child, first of all, already is probably thinking about sex to begin with. And you're thinking that you're the first person to bring the topic up to them. They already know certain things before you even talk to
exactly,
them. So what
exactly,
you want to do is unravel the shit that they already think they know and teach them the right way and give them the proper advice. You don't want them learning everything from school, from their friends, and from TV and music. You want to be able to tell them, like, this is not the reality. You laid out with this girl or this boy. This is how your life is going to change.
right. And the cost of living ain't decreasing no time soon.
No, it's not. It's really not.
So it's like
It's getting worse.
things to teach, right?
Yeah.
To teach your kids.
Yeah.
Like
and not be scared to tell them what you experienced.
exactly. But
Yeah.
again, we don't want to teach them how to build generational wealth. We comfortable. I'm sorry, y'all, in poverty. I had to say it. I
Yeah.
had we comfortable. We comfortable.
Comfortable.
Right? We comfortable with living paycheck to paycheck. I ain't comfortable living paycheck to paycheck no more.
No,
This is
I'm not
annoying.
either.
This is highly annoying at this point.
Right. Yeah.
Right? So it's like
Mhm.
it's just things to teach your kids.
Yes.
Right? Guess what? They're gonna have
They're
breakups.
too comfortable. Yeah.
They're gonna have breakups. I had to talk to a family member of mine. I ain't gonna say which one because I don't want to put my baby on the
Right.
spotlight. But he
Yeah.
was with this
Oh.
girl, and he was all in, puppy love, and they broke up. And I'm a firm believer in spending time, especially now since my babies are older. My cousins,
Mhm.
they do for lunch dates this year. A lunch date. So we sitting at Blaze Pizza, and I'm like, "How are you emotionally? How are you mentally? Are you
Mm.
okay? What's going on?" Because guess what? They may not feel comfortable talking to their parents.
Right. That's
Folks
true. A lot of them aren't. Right.
Right. And folks that say, "Oh, y'all ain't got no kids, so y'all don't know how to help them," the devil is a liar because they'll feel more
Yeah. I
comfortable
don't believe
than me
that.
about a lot of
Yeah.
things. Right. So
Yeah.
my baby said to me,
Mhm.
"I had an anxiety attack at work."
Mm.
Simple conversation.
Yeah.
Right. His
Mhm.
sister. I had a
Mhm.
conversation with her the other day, and she like, "My head's too big," and I'm like, "Baby, where did you get that
Mm.
from?" She didn't
Wow.
tell me in front of her
Mm.
mother. So when her mother got out the car, because I knew she heard that somewhere, I said, "Did the kids at school tell you your
Yeah.
head was too big?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "Oh, no, no, no. See,
I don't like stuff like that. That just irks me. I'm sorry.
right."
I just,
You see what I'm
I
saying? So
understand kid
yeah,
case stuff, but it's like it just bothers me, and then you had to pry it out of her, and who knows where she could have taken that if you didn't ask her.
right.
You know what I'm
So
saying? Like we were talking about earlier, leading to cutting or God knows what,
right.
by
This
her
baby
thinking
feeling like
that
her head too big.
right. And we
People
think
already
it's oh it's cute saying her head is big and stuff, but you don't know how people internalize that.
right. Little
A
pretty
young
girl,
kid,
long
a
hair,
little girl, right, interprets that.
right. Perfect
Yeah,
eyelashes. I had to pump her. No, you're beautiful. No, look at your
yeah,
eyelashes. Look at your hair. This, that, and the third. Your hair's not too. Like I had to sit there and literally and I'm like, yo, this is crazy.
that's crazy.
Out here, literally. And I met a young lady when I did my speaking engagement last month. She was getting bullied in school, and her
Hmm.
mother was talking to her about suicide.
Mm.
Not cool. These babies should not be dying premature deaths because they
No,
get
they shouldn't.
in school by somebody else's kids who don't want to take accountability.
Right. It's a whole cycle, like you said. It needs to be taught in schools for everybody to
Don't
hear.
worry, I'm trying to get there. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
I believe it. My cousin Tiana, she said suicide, I believe, comes from reaching a breaking point and not having an outlet. Therapy is
Yep,
a form of an outlet to release.
yep,
Yeah,
yep. We were talking about that. Yep, that emotional pain, wanting to end that emotional
yeah,
pain and feeling hopeless. Absolutely. Because we got to know
yeah.
our breaking point.
Oh
We got to
yeah,
know our
yeah.
breaking
I
point.
agree. I agree.
We got to. How are we going to handle something if something goes wrong? Right? How are you going to handle it if you lose your job emotionally? How are you going to
Well,
handle it,
now a lot
if
of
you
people
get
don't know.
if you
That's the
get laid
problem. They don't think about
off,
that.
right?
But
How you
people,
going
I
to
guess,
handle
like
it?
us, right? You have to know, as you said, how to handle it. But people have not gone through. Some people have not gone through loss that they really don't
Right,
know how to handle if they lose their job. But those of us,
right.
I guess
Or
me and you
if your
similar,
big break up
that
too.
have lost and lost jobs and homes and cars, we know, not that we want that, but we know how to handle those situations. Everybody that has not gone through certain things, so they don't know how
Yeah,
to
I'm so
handle that.
comfortable with public transportation. It ain't even funny. I am so comfortable with public transportation.
Too
I'm so
comfortable. We tired now. We tired of knowing how to deal with struggle. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm feeling the same way. Um, I just have one more question. I think. Well, as far as the suicide prevention questions. Oh, actually, no. I have two more. I want to ask: are addictions considered a form of slow suicide? I had someone
Ooh, I'm glad
actually
you asked
request
that.
that question for me to ask you.
So here's the thing, right? Not even just addictions, right?
Mhm.
Because physically, fentanyl in the 80s and early 90s, all we had to worry about was cocaine and heroin. Now we got fentanyl.
Mhm.
That still have yet to get that answer from anybody, right? So
Right.
not only are addiction, right? Because here's the thing.
Right.
Say, for example, a person is addicted to junk food, right? And they diabetic.
Right.
If that
Right.
person gets depressed enough, they will eat enough junk food to send themselves into a diabetic coma,
Mm.
right?
Right.
Or if they're diabetic or if they have high blood pressure and they want to end their life, right? This is called an indirect form of suicide. They'll stop taking their
Mhm.
medication, knowing that if you don't take your
Right.
medicine,
I
you're going to,
agree.
or if you don't eat for a certain amount of hours, you're going to slip
Right.
into a coma because the sugar's going to go so low that you're going to die,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Or a person with high blood
Mhm.
pressure eating something that's high in sodium, knowing that it can send them into a stroke, right?
Right. They know.
Addictions are the
Right.
same thing, right? You know, somebody can literally take if you take, I don't know nothing about how much drugs or alcohol it take to kill a person in one sitting because I ain't
Right.
never been on the road, but you
Mhm.
take enough of it, knowing, knowing, right? Because people
Mhm.
get depressed. I had a client when I worked at the jail, and I always asked the question, okay, so what caused you to start using? What age and what caused you? And they'll say, this guy said, my divorce 15 years ago.
Mm.
He broke down and cried. And I said, so
Mm.
why did you start and why did you keep using? He said, because I never forgave myself because I lost a great woman.
Wow. That's something. Mm.
He wanted a family, kids, everything. But
Yeah.
she wasn't putting up
Mm.
with his addiction.
Right.
So any addiction, right? Any addiction, honestly, like I said, eating. I don't know if shopping can do it, but you can shop yourself out of a house and home and bills
Right.
and
You
everything
sure could. I've heard that. I've seen that on
else.
TV
You
shows.
know,
Yeah. It
right?
can
But
happen.
right, depending on the
Yeah.
addiction, especially substance, if you're talking about substance, of course, because people they know what alcohol can do to your liver,
Right. You know.
right?
Yeah.
Refusing, so that would be actually the case of refusing to get help or refusing to go to detox or refusing anything, refusing to go to the doctor,
Right.
right? Cigarettes is bad for you. Secondhand smoke is bad for you,
Right. People do know. They're aware. People are not dumb.
right? This
Yeah.
is what they do. That's why I also tell people, listen, if you got people who are close to you who deal with depression, but who are diabetic, who have high blood pressure, who there are certain medications that they're supposed to take at a certain time. If not, this, that, and the third to happen. Check on
Right.
them.
Yeah.
Make sure that you check on them. Because at the end of the day, they can easily go, you know what? I ain't taking my diabetes medicine today. I ain't taking it tomorrow, and I'm not going to eat.
Right. They
And I'm
do.
not going to eat. Right? So it's like, okay, now you're not going to eat. Now you're not going to take your medication. You know what's going to happen if you don't eat. You know what's going to
Right.
happen if you don't take your medication. And I ain't calling
Mhm.
nobody and telling them I ain't taking it. They just going to find me
Right.
dead.
It's gonna find me. Right. Yeah.
Uh, that ain't a good idea.
Uh-uh.
So all your friends and
Yeah.
family members
Yeah.
who live by themselves,
Yes.
please check on them.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that. Check on them. Really do check on them.
Yeah,
And one of the reasons I was checking my mom, not that I was thinking she would do something like that, but I would still check on her just to see if she was still there.
yeah.
But
You
luckily
have
my
to.
mom had people around besides even myself because I wasn't living with her. That there was other people that constantly checked on her and she checked on them. And
Yeah.
that's what
And
you have to do.
see, I don't know.
Tiana, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. I was just reading the comment.
I
Um,
don't I don't know if this is still a thing where people sweep under the rug
mhm,
when they were
mhm,
molested or touched on at a young age, especially by a family
mhm.
member for a long time. You couldn't talk about that either. That's enough to make somebody
No,
commit
you
suicide.
couldn't. No, you couldn't talk about it.
That's enough right there. Because what happens
Right.
is I'm gonna get transparent because I always do, and I'm used to getting transparent. I was I
Mhm,
was I some things happened to me at 9 and 11 and 13,
mhm,
right? To the point where when I became an adult, I don't crave those activities the way a normal person would.
mhm.
I don't think that's depressing for me.
Yeah.
Just being honest.
Mhm.
That's it's terrible, right? Because again, you don't in New Jersey. There's no statute of limitations. I can still say,
Right. Right. It's not. Mhm.
but certain things like that, like would jack a person up.
Yeah. Of course.
So it's a lot.
Yeah. We have a comment from Tiana. She said, "I tried to commit suicide at 13, but God, if I knew then what I know now." And
Yeah.
you just mentioned, 13. Those ages are precious times. You
Oh
really
yeah.
it really shapes you what happens to you then.
Mm-hmm.
Shapes you as not only as that moment, but 20 years later in your life.
Yeah.
We have a comment from Tyrone. He said, even after conversation with therapists, is it safe to say you only gather a few things from your session? Things may have been talked about but not resolved when the session is over. Is that a trigger for suicide? Now that you express deep emotions you never displayed. Hmm.
So here's the thing,
Yeah.
right? It's
Hmm.
back to the grief thing, right?
Right.
It takes a lot to be able to grieve over what happened.
Yeah.
You know, um, and that's why I say get another therapist because
And
maybe
it's
that
more than one session. That's the
right,
thing. It's not. You can't have just a single session.
right,
Um, it's literally a session after session because you are opening up, as he said, expressing your deep emotions. Once that's open, you have to continue.
right. So there's
You can't
also
just stop.
there's also a therapy that I want everybody to look into. It's called EMDR therapy.
Mhm.
And it does something to the brain to not erase the memory of what happened, but kind of
Mm.
I want to say it the wrong way, but kind of like
Mhm.
the emotion behind it in a sense, right?
Yeah.
So you'll remember it, but when you have that flashback, you won't go
Mm.
into anxiety or depression over it. Um,
Okay.
you know, the thing is that like she said, it's many sessions, but if that therapist, after one or two sessions, if that therapist is working out for you, right?
Right. You do. Right. That's true.
It's like dating somebody. After one or two times,
Right.
you
You
already
know.
know if you want
Right.
them.
You'll
So,
know.
so the thing is that again, your therapist should be able to help you with that. Your therapist should be able to help you get through that pain without just medicating you. Your therapist should be able to make sure that you're okay. After you've expressed, what you feel. And again, if you need to cry about it, cry about it. Because
Right.
nobody can tell how you feel about what you expressed. Nobody. There
Mhm.
are there are people who I've met who men and women both who were molested as kids and they didn't tell nobody. And then they got
Right.
to call me. And it's like the Woolworth just opened. The
Just
floodgate
open up.
opened up, and they
Right.
deal with that and it's hard for them because I'm gonna get on a real touchy, I'm gonna say a touchy sentence here.
Mhm.
When people are molested as children, they typically don't like the opposite sex anymore.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, I know a few people like that. They said that was their reason, and I
Well,
have it within my own family of being molested. Um, made them not want to be with whatever the opposite sex, and I've seen it where they ended up being attracted to the sex of whoever the molester was. So I've seen it both ways where
yep,
I have friends that that are gay that they're not with the opposite sex because of that, or they are with them because of what happened to them, and then it goes into the whole thing of, did that play a role in it? Was this person really gay and to begin with, or
yeah, I
would they
don't give
never
a fuck.
have been if they never were molested? It
Right,
goes into a lot of questions, and it's sad because it confuses a child to really know, like, am I really gay because of this incident or incidents that was happening to me, or what? So I never experienced, as far as that, but I've heard it from others who have shared it.
right,
It's a tremendous impact on their sexuality either way.
Right. And Tyrone, can you define what it would mean for the issue to be resolved?
Yeah.
Because it could be a possibility that you're also grieving over the situation
Mhm.
of what you talk to your therapist about.
Yeah, I agree. And while he's responding, I did want to ask this question as well. How do you make time for yourself, and what do you do for your self care?
Whew. Listen here. That right there, I'm trying to learn that self. I'm trying because I'm
Trying.
busy little B over here. If I ain't answering my phone,
Right.
I'm trying to keep the office clean because it look crazy in
Right.
here. Or I got t-shirt orders, you know.
Mhm.
But for me, I just recently started keeping my hair braided, getting my hair done.
Mm.
Couldn't get me to do it before. I wouldn't spend the money to do it. I refused. But then
Right.
I had quite a few folks in my life like you can't walk around looking crazy.
Right. No, you got to keep yourself up.
So with
Yeah.
that, and making time and going to the store, I love, and don't judge me, y'all. Don't judge me. And if you do, I don't even care. I love the thrift store.
Mhm.
You find some good stuff at the thrift
Oh,
store.
it's nothing wrong with that. I'm starting to love it too now.
Girl. So my self-care for me is a little retail therapy, right? Or for me,
Right.
going out to my favorite restaurant, or either door dashing my favorite food to me. To me, that's self care for me, right?
Mhm.
Okay, yes, the grooming and the arching my own eyebrows and
Right.
making sure
Yeah.
my face is good. That's one thing. But for me, like I feel good when after I pay my bills, if I'm able to spend a little something on myself. It ain't got to be much, just a little something. I'm not the
Mhm.
type to. I don't really like to spend money at the nail salon because that regular nail polish chip too fast, and they say gel ain't good for you. So I'm not one of them ladies. I'm not.
Right.
I'm not one of them. Like I'm just.
Mhm.
I get my feet done maybe with my nails. I'm not one of them, but I got to start because my hands look crazy all the time. But for me, or even just taking honestly, Q, just taking some time to go to the
Yeah.
park,
Mhm.
right? Taking some time to walk around the track, just breathing that
Yeah.
fresh air.
That's it.
You
Mhm.
know, to go somewhere, to actually leave the city that I live in,
Right. Go somewhere.
go
Right.
somewhere, like not for work, not to eat, just go somewhere, just get out of here, right? Go down
Mhm.
to. I got to get down to the beach. I was telling my baby we got to go down to South Jersey to the beach real quick before the summer ends. You
Mhm.
know,
Right.
but just little things like that, like just making sure I'm okay, relaxing, relating, and releasing. Like it just
Mhm.
has to be a. I have to because if I don't, self care, watching a movie. I stayed up. Excuse me,
Yeah.
the
Watch
other
it.
night,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a big one.
1 o'clock in the morning, watching Ant Man. I think 1 and 2 or 2 and 3. I watched two movies back to back, and I don't watch TV. That was self care for me because I was able to laugh and everything else. I don't watch no TV, but that movie with that little Ant Man when he got real small and then he got real big and then he kicked. I was like, this is interesting. Like I'm actually watching TV. Self care, right?
Sometimes you have
You
to. You have to. That is part of self care.
listen. I got
Just
him. I got
taking 2 hours out for just for yourself and just relax, enjoying a movie.
enjoying a movie. That's it, and that's what I do. That's my little
Literally,
secret.
that's it, and not nothing else. Just enjoying the movie.
I want a phone on Do Not Disturb. I'll put it on Facebook in a minute. DND. That means don't bother me.
Yeah, I'm gonna start. Yeah, I'm gonna start doing that somewhere too. This do not disturb.
But definitely, I'm
Wow.
learning. I'm learning to do it. Got to make time for you. Make time for everybody else. Got to make time for you.
Make time for yourself because
Yeah.
it's not something we do enough of.
No. And taking on everybody else's problems, which I love to do, but listen, I got to release them problems somewhere.
Yeah,
Somewhere.
and
Because I
a
can't.
healthy way.
Right. A very healthy way. So that way, when you call
Yeah.
me again and come back to me again, I got a whole fresh new brain. Self care, reading up and learning more about my fields. That's another thing. I'm
Right.
always on for the statistics. Like did they update it? Because if you notice, if you go on the websites, they update, I believe, every year, every 2 years. So the
Hmm.
current numbers
Okay.
now are not 2023 numbers. They're probably
Hmm.
2021. So that means in 2
Mm.
years that number's gonna be an increase. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh, gotta get the word out. We can do this,
Right.
people.
And I want you to go. I don't know if Tyron's coming back, but um, I always ask my guests to share on the Q-tip. So it could be anything. It could be about suicide prevention and awareness, or it could be about business or just mental health in general. Do you have anything that you would like to share with the viewers that's watching?
Um, Step out on faith.
Yeah.
Step out on faith. If it's something in your spirit that you want to do it, because we only get one
Right.
life. We only get one life. And remember, everything is temporary except death.
Mm.
Life better. I think that was about 4 tips.
Yeah, you gave us a good bit,
Yeah.
important one.
Yep.
Yeah. So my next question, this is the last two questions. What's next for you? Because I know you have so many things happening, but what do you have on your list now? Like that's coming up?
Um. Well, I want
Any
to. Like
any
I said, I want
projects or anything?
not so much projects. I'm working on just getting the word out there, basically. Like
Okay.
just
Yeah.
getting the word out there, training people, talking to people. I think I'll be a good motivational speaker if you ask me. But
Yes,
basically,
I believe it.
educating people on what to do and how to do it, right? Teaching people coping skills, teaching people basically everything I know, whether it's addiction, whether it's grief, whether it's suicide prevention, right?
Mhm.
Just teaching people mental health coaching, right? Just teaching people
Right.
everything they know and being there for people, right? And I really my honestly my heart's so big, like I hate to have to put a price on what I do, but I mean, I'm sorry, y'all, the cost of
Mm.
living in Florida,
Well, you got to now because
it's
you are
it's just
sharing
not. But
you are sharing a lot of information. So I
I want to
understand
help
why
people.
you would charge. So you could charge more than that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and it's it's on my website. I have the suicide prevention that's $25. The grief recovery
Mhm.
method specialist, um, the grief recovery method specialist sessions individually are 7 week sessions. They're $45 a week because not only are you sitting with me for 1 hour, those are face to face sessions, but you're also there's assignments that go with the book. Like I can't have you just come in 1 week and then don't come in the next three, right? I
Mhm.
also have up there where there is uh if you need me to listen, if you just a venting session, we call it heart with ears, right? You just need somebody to just listen to you. All of that is up there. I do group sessions. All of that is up there. But if you're not a reader, you might as well download Audible or Kindle so your book can read to you, because
Right.
you're gonna learn a lot. But again, there are assignments that go with the grief
Mhm.
recovery. I'm not a counselor.
Right.
I'll let that be known. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a licensed professional.
Mhm.
I am certified in these areas, right? To be
Right.
able to help people. Also, I want to let y'all know, how to link All Things Purposeful
Yes.
Customs on
How they can reach
Instagram, All
you.
Things Purposeful on Facebook, www.allthingspurposeful.com. The thing I want to let you guys know is for those who have family members who have active addictions. You may not understand that addiction, but please
Mhm.
understand that is their coping skill.
Yes.
They don't know no other way. They can't just get out of it. They can't just go to rehab. They can't just up and just be like, okay, I'm going to do this. No, they're in a lot of pain. And that
Mhm.
whatever they're addicted to is helping them cope with life. So don't
Yeah.
be harsh on them. Try to understand them. Talk to them. If they going through, if they out on the streets, feed them. Buy them a hot meal. I tell people that, especially if you have a
Right.
parent that's addicted and you can't build a relationship with that parent. Okay, you know where they hang out. You know where they get their business at. Just drop them a hot meal by. Say to them,
Yeah, that's a
listen,
good idea.
Mom, pops, I know you don't have nowhere to go right now, and I don't know where you've been sleeping at, but I could put you up in a hotel for a night or two so you can get some sleep, right?
Mhm.
Because we know that these
Right.
addictions come with personalities. People still, they're
Right. They
thief.
do.
I just got to say it. My mother was one. I never had a bike. If I had it, I
Mm.
was cute. It was sitting there for 3 days, and after that,
Mm.
it's gone. My PlayStation,
Lord.
gone. Skates, gone. So I
Wow.
get it, right? So listen, take that person a hot meal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Take them to get their hair done. Take them to, some grooming, right? Take Pops to get his hair cut. Y'all may not see eye to eye because of his addiction, but I also want
Mm-hmm.
y'all to know this is that you don't know what they went through before you got here.
Right, that's true.
You have no idea what type of life they had before you arrived,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then you don't know what type of life their parent had. So we're
No,
not
you don't know.
it's not like we come into this world and we're given a book. Okay, this is life and this is how you parent.
Right.
No, it don't
No, you're
work.
not giving at all.
They don't know,
No.
right? But your job and your opportunity is to break the cycle, right? So okay,
Mm-hmm.
you made it out. Like I'm not addicted to
Right.
anything, praise God, because my mama was enough sacrifice for me. But guess what? If and do or whenever I have kids or step kids or whatever gonna come into my life, listen, at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
teach them kids how to cope.
How to cope.
Simple. Teach
Yes.
them how to cope. Because at the end of the day, if we break in cycles, we're gonna break generational cycles for cycles. We're not
Right.
gonna tell
And
these kids
preparing them for things that you weren't prepared for.
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it's a
Yeah.
lot. It's
It's a
definitely a lot.
lot.
And we got to come back because we got about 5 different
Yeah,
topics.
we got all different topics, and I guess we're gonna end on that note because that was really good what you just said, telling parents and yourself how to cope. Learn how to cope yourself. You can't teach the next person if you don't know how to cope yourself. You can't teach your children that.
Yep.
But Na-Tasha, I just want to appreciate you for coming on. I know we got two different shows. We have part one and part two with all these
Right.
different topics tonight. Like I said, I'm going to figure out how to, combine the two shows and have, your information that you just mentioned, how people can reach out to you, under both videos, so people can can come to you if they need someone to just listen. That's a big thing we're saying tonight, just being able to listen
Yes.
to somebody, to what they have to say, and be willing to open up about your feelings, and definitely Na-Tasha, and at the end of the video, the post, links for for anyone who's having suicidal thoughts, or if they know someone that may be, potentially, how they can, reach out to you, or to someone, someone else professional. So again,
Definitely.
I just want to thank you for tonight. This was very informative, educational show. So I feel like I shared a lot, my feelings, and you as well. So I
Definitely.
appreciate that.
And if you want to join me with the walk queue, you let me know.
Yes, I definitely will.
So
I
I'll send
will.
you the link for that so you can sign up.
Yes, please. Yes. So I'm just gonna get myself ready for work tomorrow, wind down, and try to find
Yeah.
my own form of self care tonight. Hopefully you
Listen,
do the same.
definitely. I'm gonna go eat my dinner and take a shower and get in this bed.
Yeah, relax, right. Yeah.
Definitely. But yes, thank you so much. And
Yeah,
listen,
you're
whenever
welcome.
you're ready for us to talk,
Right.
some more sessions or
Always.
some more interviews, you let me know.
Oh, I definitely will, girl. I will.
All
All
right.
right, you guys. But guys, have a blessed night, and as I always say, to keep sweating yourself to a healthier self.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah. I had to end on that note, but you guys again have a blessed and good night and happy Wellness Wednesday to everybody.